Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books so you can find your next read. Let's get started.
Sounds good to me.
Have you ever wondered what would happen if a, captivating new storyline
Yeah.
collided with the world of Elfhame?
Oh, yeah.
Well, today we're diving deep into Holly Black's The Prisoner's Throne.
That's right. For those familiar with Black's other books set in this world,
Yeah.
The Prisoner's Throne offers something new. It explores themes of power and betrayal against the backdrop of dangerous magic, but it does so through fresh eyes.
It does. The story revolves around Prince Oak, the youngest son of Madoc, the exiled High King of Elfhame.
Right.
Now, you might think being a fairy prince means a life of luxury, but for Oak, it's anything but.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
His lineage is complicated. His mother is Oriana, but as you delve deeper into the book, you discover his biological father is the infamous Dane. He's caught between the human world, where he was raised in hiding with his half-sisters, Jude and Taryn, and the magical realm of Elfhame, where he's constantly reminded he doesn't quite belong.
And adding to that feeling of not belonging is Oak's unique power.
Right.
He's a Gonkana, a type of fairy who can literally charm anyone into doing his bidding with just his words.
Talk about persuasive.
Right.
Imagine the possibilities, right?
Right.
But there's a catch.
Oh.
This power comes with a heavy price. Oak lives in constant fear that no one truly loves him, that they're all just under his charm. It's a lonely existence.
That's a really thought-provoking point.
Mm-hmm.
So how does this power play into the story? Does he use it for good, evil, a little bit of both?
Well, that's a great question. Early on, Oak is sent on a mission to the Ice Needle Citadel, this harsh and unforgiving place ruled by the formidable Lady Nor. His father, Madoc, is imprisoned there, and Oak's task is to secure his release. Not exactly a walk in the park.
No, it's not.
Especially with Lady Nor involved.
It sounds intense.
Yeah.
Especially with Lady Nor involved.
She
doesn't strike me as the type to negotiate easily.
You're spot on. Lady Nor represents a darker side of Elfhame, the Court of Teeth. She's power-hungry and ruthless, and her methods are often... well, let's just say they aren't for the faint of heart.
So where is Wren, Lady Nor's daughter, fit into all of this? I've heard whispers about her unique power.
Ah, Wren.
Yeah?
She's the wild card. She possesses the ability to unmake things, even magic itself.
Whoa!
Imagine having the power to erase anything from existence.
Crazy.
But like all magic in Elfhame, there's a cost. This power is tied to something called Melith's Heart.
Melith's Heart. What's that exactly? It sounds like something straight out of a dark fairy tale.
To put it simply, it's a source of immense power, but it comes with a curse. Every time Wren uses her unmaking magic, it drains her, making her ill. It's a ticking time bomb, and that adds another layer of tension to the story.
So you're saying Lady Nor has a daughter with the power to unmake magic, and she's up against a charming prince who can control people with his words? This is shaping up to be quite the showdown.
And just when you think you know where the story is going, things take an unexpected turn. Lady Nor is killed, and Wren surprisingly takes over as the Queen of the Court of Teeth.
Wow.
But this newfound power doesn't come easy.
Oh, no.
The High Court of Elfhame, the one ruled by Jude, they see Wren as a threat, and things quickly escalate into a tense standoff. It's classic Elfhame drama. Power, betrayal, and a whole lot of magic.
So what happens to Oak during this power struggle? Is he caught in the middle? Does he choose a side?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Instead of siding with his family, Oak finds himself forming an unlikely alliance with Wren.
Oh.
These two, who seem so different on the surface, are brought together by circumstance and a shared desire to protect what they hold dear.
Talk about an intriguing dynamic. Here you have Oak, this charming and manipulative prince, teaming up with Wren, who's wary and fiercely protective. What could possibly bring them together?
They're both outsiders in their own way, burdened by their powers and struggling to find their place in a world that constantly tries to define them. Their alliance forces them to confront their own assumptions and see each other in a new light.
It sounds like there's a lot more to their relationship than meets the eye. Do you think that's what makes this book so captivating?
Absolutely. It's not just about the epic battles and courtly intrigue. It's about the personal journeys these characters embark on. Oak, for example, uncovers a web of secrets and betrayals that force him to question everything he thought he knew about his family.
What kind of secrets? Spill the tea.
He discovers that someone close to him tried to poison him in the past, and his family, his own flesh and blood, kept it from him. Ouch, right.
Yeah.
It's a turning point for Oak. He's forced to confront the fact that even those he thought he could trust have been lying to him.
That's brutal. Talk about family drama. So what happens next? Does this revelation change him?
Let's just say it's a wake-up call.
Okay.
He starts to question his manipulative nature, the way he's used his charm to get what he wants.
He begins to see how his actions have hurt others, and there's this dawning realization that he wants to earn love, not steal it with his magic.
Wow.
It's a powerful shift in his character.
It sounds like The Prisoner's Throne isn't just a fantasy novel. It's a story about self-discovery and the complexities of family.
Right.
It must be pretty intense to see Oak grapple with these heavy truths. What would you say is the climax of the book?
The climax takes place on the Isle of Insir, and it's a whirlwind of action and emotion. There's an attempted coup, deadly magic being thrown around, and Wren is faced with a heart-wrenching decision. Black expertly balances these epic battles with the character's personal stakes, making you feel every victory and every loss.
So what about Wren's sacrifice? You mentioned a heart-wrenching decision. What exactly does she have to sacrifice? To protect her mortal sister, Bex, from the clutches of the storm hag Bogdana, Wren allows herself to be manipulated and controlled. She pushes her powers to their limits, knowing it's making her sicker, but she's willing to do anything for her sister. It's in these moments you realize how far she's come from the cold and seemingly untouchable queen she appeared to be at the beginning.
It sounds like both Oak and Wren are going through some serious character development. What happens to them after this ordeal? Do they come out stronger?
It's not a simple answer. This ordeal forces them to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves.
Right.
They both make difficult choices, and the consequences of those choices linger.
So it's not your typical happily ever after ending.
Not quite. The Prisoner's Throne leaves you with a sense of hope, but it's definitely bittersweet. It's a reminder that growth comes with pain, and even when you face darkness, you don't always emerge unscathed.
It definitely sounds like there's a lot to unpack in this book. We've got fairy intrigue, dangerous magic, family drama, and characters who defy expectations.
Right.
I'm hooked. Let's dive deeper into the world of The Prisoner's Throne right after, I guess we'll just keep going.
Yeah, let's just keep talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely leaves you with a lot to think about. And while Oak and Wren are off on their adventure, things aren't exactly peaceful back in the High Court. Black doesn't just focus on their relationship. She also masterfully weaves in political intrigue with the personal dramas of other characters. It's like watching a tapestry unfold with every thread connected.
That's what I love about Black's writing. She creates this complex world where every action has a ripple effect. So what's happening back in the High Court while Oak's away? Is Jude struggling to keep everything under control?
Oh, absolutely. Jude the High Queen is dealing with a whole host of problems. She's trying to maintain order and stability.
Right.
But she's constantly facing threats, not just from outside forces, but from within her own court. You know, the whole keep your enemies closer kind of situation.
And let's not forget Cardan the High King. He's always been a bit of a wild card, hasn't he? How does he handle the pressure of ruling a kingdom?
Cardan is fascinating. He's this mix of charm and wit, but also danger and unpredictability. His relationship with Jude is this constant push and pull full of passion and volatility. It's like watching a game of chess with each move carefully calculated, but with the potential to erupt at any moment.
So with all this tension brewing, does it ever feel like the High Court is on the verge of imploding?
There's definitely a sense of unease throughout the book. You see the characters constantly maneuvering and manipulating each other, whispering in dark corners and forging alliances that could crumble at any moment. Black does a brilliant job of keeping you guessing, never quite sure who to trust or what's going to happen next.
It sounds like the High Court is just as dangerous as the Court of Teeth, just in a different way. What are some of the biggest challenges Jude faces while Oak is gone? Does she manage to stay one step ahead?
Well, for one, she's dealing with the fallout from the attempted poisoning of Oak. Even though she knew about it and kept it a secret to protect him, the truth has a way of bubbling to the surface, and it creates this atmosphere of paranoia and distrust within the court.
It sounds like secrets are a dangerous currency in Elfhame.
Yeah.
Does Oak's absence make things easier or harder for Jude?
It's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
On the one hand, Oak's manipulative nature and unpredictable behavior could be seen as a destabilizing force.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, he's a member of the royal family, and his presence lends a certain legitimacy to the court.
Right.
His absence leaves a void that various factions are eager to fill.
So it's like a power vacuum waiting for someone to seize control.
Exactly. And there are plenty of contenders for the throne. You have Nicasia, the queen of the undersea, who's facing her own challenges and might see an opportunity to expand her influence.
Hmm.
And then there's Randolin, a seemingly harmless member of the Living Council who harbors some dark ambitions. Black does a great job of showing how power can corrupt even the most unassuming characters.
It seems like danger is lurking around every corner in Elfhame. Does Jude have any allies she can truly rely on?
She has Cardan, of course,
Right.
but their relationship is as fiery as it is supportive. There's also Vivian, Jude's sister, who's always been fiercely loyal. But even those closest to Jude have their own agendas,
Right.
and it's hard to know who's playing the game for real and who's just putting on show.
It sounds exhausting. I wouldn't want to be in Jude's shoes, that's for sure. Speaking of exhausting, let's circle back to Oak for a moment. You mentioned earlier that he uncovers some family secrets. What exactly does he learn, and how does it impact him?
He discovers that the person who tried to poison him was the Ghost, a notorious assassin known for their ruthlessness. But that's not the most shocking part. He eventually finds out that the Ghost was acting on orders from his own sister, Taryn. Talk about a betrayal.
Hold on, Taryn. The sweet and innocent Taryn? That doesn't seem like her style at all.
That's the thing about Taryn. She's always presented this facade of fragility, but underneath it all, there's a darkness, a cunning that often goes unnoticed. And this revelation rocks Oak's world. He already felt like an outsider in his own family, and now he learns that his sister tried to have him killed.
Wow.
It's enough to make anyone question their place in the world.
Wow. I can't even imagine what that must feel like. What does he do with this information? Does he confront Taryn?
Oh, he definitely confronts her, but she's as slippery as ever. She dodges his questions, never giving him a straight answer.
Oh, no.
And what makes matters worse is that he discovers Jude and Cardan knew about Taryn's involvement all along, but they chose to keep it a secret to protect him and maintain stability in the court.
I understand why they would want to protect him, but keeping a secret like that is bound to backfire.
Exactly. And it does. Oak feels betrayed by his family, like they've been playing a game with his life. He can't shake the feeling that he's been manipulated and used, even by those who claim to love him.
So where does he go from there? How does he cope with this realization?
Well, it's a turning point for him. It's like a switch flips inside him. He starts to see the world and his place in it with new eyes. He realizes he can't keep playing by the rules of a court that's full of secrets and lies.
It sounds like he's on a journey of self-discovery, trying to figure out who he is outside of the expectations of his family and the court.
Absolutely. And this journey leads him to make some pretty radical choices. He starts to question everything he once believed in, and he begins to forge his own path, one that's based on his own values and desires.
So while all this drama is unfolding in the High Court, what's happening with Wren? Is she adjusting to her new role as Queen of the Court of Teeth?
Not quite. Remember, Wren's power comes with a price. Every time she uses it, it drains her life force. And she's facing constant threats from both within her own court and from those who want to see her overthrown.
It sounds like being queen isn't all it's cracked up to be. What kind of challenges does she face? Does she have any allies?
Her biggest challenge comes from Bogdana, the storm hag who's holding Wren's mortal sister Bex hostage. Bogdana is a powerful adversary capable of controlling the winds and rain, and she's not afraid to use her magic to get what she wants.
So Wren's caught in a tough spot. She has to protect her court deal with her draining power and save her sister from a vengeful storm hag. That's a lot for anyone to handle.
And it's through these challenges that Wren truly comes into her own. She realizes that power isn't just about brute force, it's about strategy, cunning, and knowing when to strike.
It sounds like she's learning to play the game of power on her own terms. But with Bogdana holding her sister hostage, what options does she have? Does she give in to the storm hag's demands?
Wren is caught between a rock and a hard place. She doesn't want to give in to Bogdana, but she's also not willing to risk her sister's life.
So what does she do? Does she find a way to outsmart Bogdana?
That's the beauty of Black's writing. She keeps you guessing until the very end.
I'm on the edge of my seat. Tell me more. What happens next? Does Wren manage to save her sister? Does Oak finally break free from the clutches of his family?
Hold on tight because things are about to get really wild.
Okay, so we left off with Wren facing an impossible choice and Oak feeling betrayed by his own family. Where does the story go from there? It sounds like things are about to reach a boiling point.
You're absolutely right. The
Wow.
tension keeps ratcheting up as the story shifts to the Isle of Inseer, where a grand hunt is being held. On the surface, it's a celebration of Oak and Wren's supposed betrothal.
Right.
But beneath the surface, there's a lot more going on.
It wouldn't be Elfhame without some hidden agendas, would it?
Not a chance. The High Court is using this hunt as a way to assess Wren's power and make sure she understands who's really in control. It's a subtle but effective power play.
So while everyone's focused on the hunt, what's Oak up to? Is he playing along with this charade, or is he trying to uncover more secrets?
Oak's not one to sit idly by. He's still reeling from the revelation about Terran, and he's determined to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
It's during the hunt that he encounters the Kelpie Jack of the Lakes, who drops a bombshell.
Wait, the Kelpie. Isn't that the creature that lures people to their deaths in the water? What kind of information could Oak possibly get from a creature like that?
That's what makes this encounter so intriguing. Jack of the Lakes reveals that he saw Terran meeting with someone bearing Dane's crest. Remember, Dane is Oak's biological father, the one who tried to poison Maddock. This revelation raises a whole new set of questions about Terran's motives.
So is Terran working with Dane? Is she plotting against Jude and Maddock? What's her endgame?
Those are the questions swirling in Oak's mind.
Yeah.
He confronts Terran again, demanding answers, but she remains evasive. It's as if she's playing her own game, one that Oak can't quite decipher.
It sounds like Terran is a master manipulator in her own right. Does Oak ever get the truth out of her?
The truth has a way of revealing itself, even if it's not through direct confession. Later that night, during the grand feast, Oak overhears a conversation between Jude and Carden that confirms his suspicions.
Oh, no.
They knew about Terran's involvement in the poisoning all along, but chose to keep it a secret.
I can understand why they would want to protect Oak, but keeping secrets in Elfhame seems as effective as trying to hold water in your hands.
Exactly. And this particular secret explodes with devastating consequences. Oak feels betrayed not just by Terran, but by Jude and Carden as well. He realizes they've been playing him like a pawn in their game of power.
So he's been betrayed by his sisters, manipulated by the High Court, and sent on a dangerous quest to rescue his father, who might not even want to be rescued. What's a fairy prince to do?
But this is where things take a really interesting turn. Remember the poisoning of the ghost?
Yeah.
During the feast, Oak's nephew Leander innocently reveals that he knows the ghost's secret name.
That's a big deal in the world of fairy, right? Knowing someone's secret name gives you power over them.
Absolutely. And it implies that the ghost was poisoned with their own magic. It's a gruesome detail, but it's also a crucial clue.
A clue to what? Who poisoned the ghost?
Think about it. Who has the power to unmake things, including magic?
Wren. It all points back to Wren. But why would she poison the ghost? Wasn't the ghost trying to kill Oak?
That's what Oak initially believes. But as he pieces together the clues, Wren's strange behavior, her cryptic warnings, her refusal to deny the poisoning, he arrives at a startling realization.
What does he realize?
Wren isn't trying to hurt him. She's trying to protect her sister Bex.
Yeah.
Remember, Bex is being held hostage by Bogdana, and it seems that Bogdana is using Wren's power to carry out her own wicked plans.
Oh, wow. So Wren's caught in this impossible situation, forced to do Bogdana's bidding to save her sister. That explains why she's been acting so strangely.
Exactly. And this realization completely changes Oak's perspective. He sees Wren not as an enemy, but as a victim, someone who's being manipulated and forced to make impossible choices.
So what does he do? Does he try to help her?
Oak's first instinct is to find Bex. He believes Mother Marrow, the witch who helped him on his quest, is hiding Bex somewhere, and it turns out he's right.
Okay.
He finds Bex trapped in a magically sealed hazelnut held captive by Mother Marrow.
Okay, that's both creepy and kind of clever.
Yeah.
A hazelnut prison. That's straight out of a fairy tale.
Right. It's classic Holly Black blending the whimsical with the macabre. But the situation takes a dark turn when Bogdana appears alerted by Mother Marrow.
Talk about bad timing. So what happens? Does Oak try to fight Bogdana?
He's ready to fight, but then Bogdana reveals that she has taken Wren to insure Oak, knowing Wren is in a weakened state after using her magic panics. He makes a desperate gamble. He offers himself as a hostage in exchange for being taken to Wren.
That's a risky move. Is he really willing to put himself in Bogdana's clutches?
He is. He's come to care for Wren and understands the impossible situation she's in. But Bogdana, cunning as ever, tricks him. Instead of taking him to Insir, she takes him to the shores of Innsmore, where she intends to drown him.
This sounds awful. Poor Oak. He can't catch a break, so is this the end for him?
Just when all hope seems lost, Wren appears with her falcons, demanding Bogdana release both Oak and Bex. This is where we see Wren's true power unleashed. She's no longer hesitant or uncertain. She's a force to be reckoned with, ready to fight for those she loves.
That sounds like the ultimate showdown. Who wins?
The battle between Wren and Bogdana is epic. They're both incredibly powerful, and the magic is intense. But it's not just about brute force, it's a battle of strategy and cunning. Wren has to use her powers carefully, knowing they drain her life force, while Bogdana tries to exploit Wren's weaknesses, both physical and emotional.
So who comes out on top? Does good triumph over evil?
Just as the battle reaches its peak, Jude arrives with the High Court, throwing another wrench into the already chaotic situation. She sees Oak with Wren, and believing he's betrayed them, orders her archers to attack.
Jude attacks her own brother. Talk about family drama.
It's a heartbreaking moment, and it shows how far Jude is willing to go to protect her power and the stability of the court. She even offers Bogdana Oak's head in exchange for Carden's life.
That's cold. Even for Jude, that's ruthless. How does Oak react to this betrayal?
He's devastated. It's the final confirmation that his family is willing to sacrifice him for their own gain. But Wren refuses to let him die. She challenges Bogdana, revealing to everyone that the Storm Hag is holding Bex hostage. It's a brilliant move that exposes Bogdana's manipulation and turns the tide of the battle.
So does Wren defeat Bogdana?
She does, Bogdana realizing she's been outsmarted flees. But the victory is bittersweet, using so much magic, leaves Wren exhausted, and she collapses.
Poor Wren. She's been through so much.
Oak takes her back to the cottage where she falls into a deep sleep. It's during this time that he finally learns the truth about his mother's poisoning from Jude and Madoc.
I bet that conversation didn't go well.
It's an emotional confrontation. They try to justify their actions, claiming they wanted to protect him, but Oak isn't buying it. He feels betrayed and abandoned.
It's understandable, right? He's been lied to and manipulated by the people he's supposed to trust the most.
Absolutely. This confrontation is a turning point for Oak. He realizes he doesn't want the throne or the power that comes with it. He's tired of the lies and betrayal. He just wants to be free.
So what does he do? Does he run away? Start a rebellion?
He makes a bold decision. He abdicates his claim to the throne, choosing to forge his own path instead of following the one laid out for him.
Wow, that's a huge decision. So what happens to him? What about Wren?
The book ends with Oak traveling north to be with Wren. He's not sure what the future holds, but he's determined to help her heal and build a new life with her away from the interest and betrayal of the fairy courts.
It's a hopeful ending, isn't it? They both deserve some peace and happiness after everything they've been through.
It is. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always the possibility of redemption. And a new beginning, The Prisoner's Throne, is a story about breaking free from expectations, embracing the unknown, and finding your own path. It's a journey of self-discovery, love, and loyalty, and it's one that will stay with you long after you've finished the last page.
That's a fantastic way to sum it up. Thanks for taking us on this deep dive into The Prisoner's Throne. It sounds like a must-read for any fan of Holly Black and anyone who loves a good fantasy adventure with complex characters and plenty of twists and turns.
Absolutely. If you're looking for a book that will keep you on the edge of your seat and make you think about the nature of power family and what it means to be truly free, then this is the book for you.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe to our channel for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, and we will see you on the next episode.